mostly because I'm always excited and thrilled to hear those stories of Jesus calling the disciples from the shore of the Sea of Galilee. There is for me, and I hope for you, wonderful power in that event when by that quiet seashore Jesus spoke the words of invitation that would change the destiny of humankind forever. I want to tell you about discipleship because I believe that God is calling every one of you to be a disciple, so that wherever you go, you will draw the whole world to yourself with God's love and God's mercy and God's grace. To do that, I want to look a little bit at what it meant to be a disciple in the day of Jesus and see if we can translate that into the modern time. Let's go back in time, 2,000 years, firstly, and I want to tell you a little bit about Galilee and the surrounding area. Imagine just a few miles south of the Sea of Galilee and over on the western shore of the Jordan River, a beautiful city. It's called Scythopolis. It is one of the most modern Roman cities in the whole world. They have a massive Colosseum. They have a theater. They have a university in Scythopolis. The streets of the city are broad and they are all paved. In the Roman Empire, there were 100,000 kilometers of paved roadway 2,000 years ago, and they were so well built that most of them are still in existence today. Scythopolis, if you can believe this, 2,000 years ago had running water. They had a system of sewage and septic removal from the city, so it was a beautiful, clean, modern city with 30,000 people living in it. Now, I hope that you're all impressed with that, and I hope you're all impressed by the fact that absolutely no disciples came from Scythopolis. Let's go a few kilometers north to another town that is nothing at all like Scythopolis, to an ancient, primitive place where they don't have running water, they don't have wide paved streets, they don't have a theater, they do not have a university, they don't have a Colosseum. A tiny little place called Bethsaida, or in the vernacular, Fish Town. And in Fish Town, all there are 8 or 10 families. And the way that the town is organized is like this. A father would build a house out of adobe bricks, a tiny little house, maybe 10 feet by 12 feet. That was it. And they would thatch over the roof with branches of trees, and then with thickets in between, and then they would patch it with mud and adobe clay. And when that father's sons were old enough to get married, they would simply build another little room onto the room that their father had built, until you had a little circle of these clay huts in a group, and they were called an insula. And the whole extended family would live in that insula. And Bethsaida, or Fish Town, probably had about 10 of those insulas, with maybe 60 or 70 people living in each one of them. A town of 600 or 700 people, just 10 families, all related, most likely, with none of the modern conveniences of the great city of Scythopolis, just a few kilometers south. But now imagine this. In the courtyard of one of those little insulas, there are 5 little boys playing, running after each other on the dusty ground. Can you see them? With their dark hair and crying out after other in their game, and those little boys, their names are Simon, Andrew, James, John, and Philip, playing in the dust of a tiny courtyard in an insula in Fishtown by the Sea of Galilee.